Guys, we had better get to work. We've got some work to be done, and the time is right now. Kaikar France, allow me to submit his name. Let's get behind him. Let's elevate him. Let's get him in there for a world title. Anybody else that can fog a mirror, let's elevate him. We got to get them for a championship, or we're going to have to watch Figueiredo Moreno a fourth time. Figueiredo and Moreno are already talking about it. Guys, hold on. Do you remember when you were a little kid? I can assure we've all had this experience in some regard. There was somebody that you looked up to, and when you looked to them, they were then mean to you. You'd pick a guy to be your captain on recess for a game of kickball, and then once he's the captain and you've given him this power because you thought he was a cool guy, he tells you you're on the bench because you're not good enough to play. Something along these lines. This is what's happening right now with the leaders of 125 pounds. Figueiredo and Moreno have gotten up in a loft, and they're pulling the ladder up behind them. These guys double-crossed the industry. They did no media. They did no build-up. They gave us absolutely nothing excited to look forward to except something that we've already seen for much longer than we already see it already. So we were being kind and generous to them by buying tickets, keeping our mouth shut, letting this thing play out. We were being very respectful. All of the rest of the guys at 125 pounds have the right to look to the leaders. Your leaders are whoever is fighting for the championship next. Your champion always qualifies. Whoever wins the bureaucracy to be the number one contender, those are the two guys. So you're going to look at them, see what they did, and then you're going to try to emulate and copy it. Which is why 125 pounds sucks so bad right now from an entertainment standpoint. A division that was rumored to be abolished set off some red flags on a couple of guys. Henry Cejudo's one of them. Figueiredo's another one. Said, boy, I got to save my job. I'm going to save it for the rest of the boys. I'm going to do everything right. They came out. They made interesting things. The other 25 pounders just looked to those guys and thought, well, they're different. They're in the spot. I'm staying over here because Figueiredo and Moreno are now talking about doing this a fourth time after they double-crossed us in this last one. We have to get new blood in there. Period. Kaikar France comes to mind. Being in touch with yourself is a very hard thing to do for all of us. But being in touch with yourself when you have a popularity on social media makes it nearly impossible. You have to force yourself to go to other threads, to go to your opponent's social media, and you better be comparing them. You better be comparing likes. You better be comparing tweets. You better be comparing comments. You better be comparing followers because I see these guys get so close and then they mark out for their own gimmick. They go to their specific sphere. They see the positivity that they get for absolutely any idea they have, and then they get misled to think, well, I can't have any bad ideas. All my ideas are good. Well, yeah, sure, if you're going, right? It's like going to a holiday with your family and friends and then wondering why everybody likes you. People, we don't want to see those two knuckleheads fight again. For any reason. I mean, including competitive architecture. In all fairness, I do think that they have proven that they are the two elites. That if you want the best guy against the next best guy, which is supposed to be what a championship fight is, that we've got to turn to them. But we did it again, and now we've done it, hopefully, for the last time. But the fellow 125-pounders who look to these guys, so they're copying them, which means you do absolutely nothing. Do you want to know how many guys I've heard from? Would you like to know how many 125-pounders I, Chael, who has a massive audience, you guys, have heard from? None. Do you want to know how many managers I've heard from about their clients who happen to be 25-pounders? All total that would like their name, their accomplishment, their hard work. They like to come onto the program. They like to see their name in the thumbnail, do absolutely anything that the week after is all about. None, guys. I have not heard from any. So I'm going to submit for you Kaikar France. He is very good. He's a handsome guy. He's an up-and-comer. He's got a win over a former world champion. That is going to have to do it. If that doesn't sound like enough for you, make it enough. You got to make it enough. Major opportunity for a 35-pounder to come down if they can make the weight. If Cody Garbrandt would have found a way to win that fight, boom, our problem solved. We are going with Cody. He's a stud. He's new to the division. He's undefeated, even if it's 1-0. We know who he is. I don't know what's going on at 25. I don't know who told these guys just because you're the littlest guys means you deserve the littlest voice. It's not true. You got 160 characters just like everybody else. Write it out there, hit send, and do it over and over and over again. And I will see guys within a division, I see this one all the time, I will see guys within a division who don't worry about outperforming or out-entertaining anybody that's ranked lower than them. Or the guys that are ranked lower say, well, I've already lost to this guy, so I'm going to have to wait until he gets his opportunity. We don't know any of those things. We don't know who any of you have fought. We don't know your records. We don't know your hometowns. We don't know if you're Southpaw or Orthodox. It's in your head that we know. We have the foggiest idea. We don't care if you decided on your own that the opportunity shouldn't be yours and therefore you're going to pass to the next guy because we don't know if he's going to get called. He's not going to get called if he doesn't speak up. And none of you have said anything. Nothing. The only one who's saying he should get a fight for the championship again is Moreno, which, by the way, if you happen to watch the pay-per-view, there was only one guy in the building that night that had any fans. And it turned out he had all the fans. The reception for Moreno was amazing. But that mandate of the masses is one of the elements that you must have way in front of your resume. Way in front of your wins and losses, you're a blue belt, but this guy's a black belt, or vice versa, so you think you have the jump on him. If you have the mandate of the masses, or vice versa, if you do not have the mandate of the masses, you are not getting those opportunities. And I bring that to you because there is a very real chance that we're going to have to put up with Figueiredo and Moreno again. Just because there's not a better idea. Just because nobody stepped forward. We've seen the fight 3 times. It was demoted after the first. That's a reality, guys. The reality was the first time we saw them fight, it was a main event. It has never returned to main event status. So what are we going to, we're going to do it a 4th time? It's going to open the card? Is there anything that could make it clear that we're not interested than it itself losing placement within the event? 2 great fighters. Boy, I got no problem with anything there. Their lack of buildup, the lack of anticipation, their lack of getting out and making sure people tune in. You want to know why you don't have people tune in? Because you're not sure you're going to win. I see it all the time. Hey, man, why don't you go out there and talk a little bit? Why don't you spread the word? I don't like to do that. I don't like to talk trash. Nobody said the word trash. We said go out there and talk. Go out there and make sure it's called promotion. And the guys that don't do it are just the ones that aren't sure they're going to win. If you're going to get your ass kicked, you'd much rather get your ass kicked with less people watching it, right? So you got these 2 wildly unconfident guys that now we're talking about going and doing it a 4th time. It's going to be incumbent on us. Kai France is a damn good fighter. He really is. Why I haven't heard of him, I have no idea. I mean, I've heard from him. Why Ariel hasn't heard from him, which I'm trusting he hasn't, or he probably would have had him on the show. Why Schaub? Why Bisping? Why Corey? Why we don't hear from these guys? I don't know, man. They got terrible managers. We're going to have to do this on our own. Please help me here. Please don't make me watch Figueiredo and Moreno again. I beg you guys. Kai France, you got a better idea? I'll listen. But until then, let's go with him.